The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry. May I introduce myself?
Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you some movies you can sink your teeth into. I want to give you something on this Halloween that should hopefully target just about everybody. If you're looking for some movies for the kids after the trick-or-treating's done, I got you covered. If you are looking for something to actually scare that special someone while you're chilling, even got some you can find on Netflix. And, well, if you're actually looking for something that can just be played in the background while you are entertaining the masses of your Halloween party, I got you covered there too. That's the goal of this. I don't want you to think that you're going to be looking for the scariest or for the Halloweeniest. Just some slight recommendations on whatever you need this Halloween. And I guess on that note, happy Halloween! So, let's get into it. First and foremost, let's kick it off with a classic. I want to talk about Scream. Now, everybody knows about Scream, but not everybody has actually seen Scream. I see way too many interactions of people that are like, yeah, I love the Scream killer. And it's just like, you Ghostface? Or just recently, there's been a bit of a hot topic with, well, Ghostface Mask making an appearance in a video game, and people are like, I don't care about what's up. And it's like, no, you've seen Scary Movie. So, how about we throw this on and actually educate some folks on a classic thriller that actually does a pretty good job of educating people on the horror movies before it? You'll be surprised how many people don't really understand anything when it comes to horror, even though they claim they do. So, I love Scream, you love Scream, we all scream for Scream. Up next, I have one for people with children in the audience, Scooby Doo Zombie Island. Now, this is one that came on in my youth, and I think the youth after us can enjoy it as well. We all know the banger song that for some odd reason doesn't have a studio release last I checked, that goes a little something like, yeah, that right there is almost the single handed reason why I put this on the list. But also, it's a good movie. It takes the Scooby Gang in a direction that we haven't seen them before. They're a little bit more mature. They are actually trying to make a living out of this. They're facing real world problems. There's dark elements at play where it's like, oh, wait, hold on. There's like things going on. It's not just busting a guy in a mask. Like, there are some serious chiz going on here. And more or less, you get to understand a little bit about regional history. That's one thing that I can appreciate from the Scooby Doo mysteries, and that they, for the movies, explore a region more so or less. And this one, I think it did pretty much a lot of justice. Things could have been better, but for what it's worth at the time, it also could have been worse. So yeah, check out Scooby Doo Zombie Island. Alright, parents, I've just given you something to distract the little ones with. Now it's time for you to get distracted yourself. I have, for you, The Autopsy of Jane Doe. A pleasant surprise, if I can be honest. This can be found on Netflix last I checked, and it follows a coroner and his son who is supposed to be his apprentice, but not really. You'll figure all of that out when you watch the movie. But they get a body sent to them that clearly has some things that aren't quite right. And as you can imagine, when things aren't right in a horror movie, you don't really get to enjoy everything. Now, this does take some turns that I know not everybody will be a fan of in the long run. However, if you can just enjoy it for what it is, I think you'll enjoy it a lot more. And reminder, this is just like an idea to throw on. You don't have to fully focus on all of these movies, but I think if you do really want to get involved in this one, you'll be pleasantly surprised by what you find, just as I was. All right, Hellfest. This is listed among like teen slashers. Uh, sure, let's go with that. This is also the epitome of what I mean by this list, in which you don't have to pay attention to this one. Things will happen one way or another. You can either look at it in the background, and every time you check in, you go, oh, damn. Or you actually lock in and you wonder, oh, damn. Either way, you'll probably see at least one or two oh damns. It's a slasher movie that does enough to service what you miss from the old slashers. It's not going to revolutionize the game. It didn't when it came out, but it does just enough to keep you entertained. I appreciate Hellfest for the setting. If anything, it takes place in an amusement park, and while everybody's supposed to be masked, and some people are getting their ass beat, you'll wonder how anybody's getting away with this, but at the same time, it reminds you that there is that possibility of shit going wrong in public spaces. So if you weren't already terrified of things like that, here you go. Out with the new, in with the old, or something like that. I now bring to you something by Vincent Price in 1959, House on Haunted Hill. For reference, my grandmother was 9 years old when this movie came out. I was so far away from being thought about. So for this movie to still be good to this day, it aged like fine wine. There is an instance of, that's not okay that people might not like, but I should say in horror movies, everybody tends to get hurt. And sometimes it comes from people close to them. So if you can understand what I'm alluding to, I don't know if I can say certain words on YouTube. That's where we go with there. But it's over relatively quickly for the most part. That's kind of the whole theme at the same time. But regardless, this is a movie that, for what it's worth, you will be very entertained by something so far away. There's practical effects that are bomb as hell, especially given what they had to work with then. You're not even seeing shit like flashlights. People are using candles over here. So give House on Haunted Hill a try. Vincent Price outdone himself way back then. Since we're talking about things that have been around for a while, it's time for me to give you my final recommendation on what to throw on for the kiddos. You probably already know this, but in case anybody forgot, I have to mention it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It is a movie that has given us the warm and fuzzy feeling inside every Halloween and how pretty much any fall season for years and years on end. And it's time for everybody to instill that knowledge into the next generation. Now, I should note that it was pretty hard for me to find this online without a fee attached. So be prepared to spend maybe $3 to $10 to watch it, but I think we can all agree it's money well spent. The nostalgia is there, and it's still a pretty entertaining movie. Don't really know why it hits all the feel good sensors in our brain, but yeah, you want to put on It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Speaking of things we're pretty fond of, let's speak of somebody that we're pretty fond of. A lot of us can appreciate a good Nick Cage movie, and sometimes we can just appreciate a Nick Cage movie. Willy's Wonderland. I find it hysterical. I know a lot of people find it pretty damn entertaining. Not everybody gets that, and I can understand why. This is a movie in which Nicolas Cage says nothing, and you might wonder how in the hell can you enjoy a movie where the main actor doesn't say anything? Well, he's the only one that doesn't say anything. You still have appropriate amounts of Nick Cage action in a horror movie, but I think you'll find it is okay. And sometimes you can do no wrong. We don't talk about some of those other movies. But for this one, find it. You can find it online. That's all I'll say. You can find it online. go ahead, watch Willy's Wonderland, and wonder why FNAF ever gave anybody some trouble. If you have made it this far and haven't found something to throw on by now, thanks for the watch time. And I'm sorry, as it is now time for me to completely throw away any faith that you had in me. I am going to recommend a pretty bad movie because everybody needs to witness some pretty bad horror movies every now and again. I am recommending Mammoth from 2006, and boy, does every inch of it scream that it's from that era. You will have phenomenal CGI. You will have impeccable one liners. And more often than not, you will be wondering, is there any way that I can get a couple of more pixels? You will be hard pressed to find this on anything but YouTube, because it seems that nobody remembers this movie was made, and for good reason. I used to own this on DVD. If you know what those are, hey, yeah, we got some talking to do. If you don't worry. You'll be fine just looking at this on YouTube. Hi, parents. It's me again. I'm here to terrify you one last time by giving you a final situation that I hope you never find yourself in with your offspring. I am talking about Evil Dead Rise. This is an Evil Dead movie, so you probably know what to expect. But I gotta admit, I didn't. I've never liked the Evil Dead series. If I'm being honest, I know that's a bit of a hot take, but it kind of was just too much for me, but not in the, oh, that's gory way, but in the, I guess. And Evil Dead Rise, I was pleasantly surprised. Even saw this in theaters, and I'm a sucker for a good one liner, such as,
Mommy's with the maggots now.
yeah, she really said that. I think if you are looking for something in the modern day and age of horror movies that can pull off pretty much the horror feel to a very good extent, you're looking for Evil Dead Rise.
Mom?
Well, well, well. Are you leaving so soon? I now bring to you the final recommendation. And I did save the best for last. Best for me. It has become one of my favorite horror movies of all time. A little bit because of the surprise factor of it's on Netflix. And it has a home on Netflix. I didn't expect anything coming out of that direction to be good. But here I am recommending The Ritual. Time and time again. This was going to get an entire movie review video, but copyright is not a beast that I feel like tangling with anymore. Now, if there is a beast to be tangled with, it's the one in this movie. This movie combines psychological horror, supernatural, folk horror, all in a nice little concoction for anybody to enjoy. There's even some tension breakers that might break it a little bit too much for anybody, but it's the holidays. Have a little bit of fun. And that's exactly what The Ritual does. Everybody can get into this movie at one point in time, regardless of where you are right there. It is a movie that I believe is just that good. So yeah, please throw on The Ritual. That's the list, and I've checked it more than twice. These movies are not in any particular order, as you can imagine. It wasn't necessarily a top 10, the way that I think I probably put it in the title, but it's more of a here's 10 movies that you can look at your own leisure, whatever that leisure may be. So I hope that your Halloween is a little bit more festive because of it, and regardless of if you watch any of these movies, I hope that you have a good one. So, yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities, and happy Halloween.